Okay, so this is part number 104, and this is the line 18a3, and it's the Baffle Invention Condenser Tubes, NASA Arms, Reactor Vessel, U.S. Patents, and Wow Seti. Okay, so it's based on the Wow Seti signal. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole math equation, but the answer to the math equation that you see there is 823.5294. All the data that came up in line 18A has been expanded from A to Z. There's going to be more than 26 videos for this section though, okay? So line 18A3, what we did was I did the Google on the baffle, a device to prevent direct flow of fluid or impingement on a surface. A baffle, an obstruction used to slow down or divert the flow of gases, liquids, sound, etc. They are found in the fuel tanks, crankcase, muffler, and radiator. And I found a protective device for condenser tubes that came up with the word baffle on it. And it talks about high velocity and cooling fluid. Then I found this diagram of a space telescope, major configuration elements. So here's a picture of a secondary mirror baffle. This is an aluminum baffle, main baffle, and this is a central baffle. So I guess it has different types of components that you would find in a satellite telescope system. So it's a classification of heat exchangers comes up, and you can see the words in bold there: device, flow, fluids, baffling. So this is all the data that came up. I also found a patent for a fluid flow distribution system for fluidized bed reactor. Patent number 4702891. So this invention was made in, it was issued in 1987. And there's the data there. So it's patentgenius.com. Patent number 4702891. Okay. So an improved flow distribution system for a catalytic reactor plenum chamber. For a gas, liquid, solids, ebullited bed reactor includes a baffled nozzle device containing at least two baffle plates, usually oriented substantially normal to the nozzle inlet flow direction, for providing good mixing and uniform flow distribution of gas liquid materials in the lower portion of the plenum, used in combination with distribution grid to effect a substantially uniform flow distribution of the gas liquid mixture upwardly into the ebullited catalyst bed. A sparger can be provided in the plenum above the baffle flow distributor device for feeding additional gas liquid mixture into the reactor. The flow distribution system provides a substantially uniform flow distribution of the gas liquid mixture into the ebullited bed, and thereby provides a fouling-free operation of the reactor. So that's what they're saying this patent device can do. So this is the data we're going to look at from all that data. It's a baffle arrangement prevents direct impingement of high velocity. Then we'll be looking at the cooling fluid and apparatus for preventing direct impingement of high velocity. And then the tubes of the tube bundles caused by the flow of high velocity steam. So those were the words I pulled out from that data there. So I wanted to... So this is a diagram that I found. The fluid flow distribution system for a fluidized bed reactor patent. It's in the PDF file, so I had to caption annotate it and then save it and bring it over here, just so you can look and see what it says. I can't really read it. It talks about insulation here, figure 1. It's got a bunch of numbers and arrows going up and arrows going this way and that way. Feed, liquid plus gas, recycle pump. So that's what it looks like. So it's fluid. So then there's a short stroke piston. I found this H&K 416 short stroke gas piston. And quote, direct impingement is a type of gas operation for a firearm that directs gas from a fired cartridge directly to the bolt carrier or slide assembly to cycle the action. Unlike conventional gas-operated firearms, direct impingement does away with a separate gas cylinder, piston, and operating rod assembly. High-pressure gas acts directly upon the bolt and carrier, thereby saving weight, lowering costs, and reducing the mass of operating parts. That's what came up when I googled the word to find out what it meant. And then we have another patented device that came up. It was called anti-detonation device, and a method for internal combustion engines, United States Patent 7066137. A flame ejector device for mounting in the spark plug aperture of an internal combustion engine, whereby an inner end of the device is within the combustion chamber. The device being configured to receive a fuel-air mixture charge on the compression stroke of the piston, and wherein the charge is ignited by a conventional spark plug mounted on the device. A unique arrangement and orientation of flame ejector nozzles on the inner end of the device for ejecting flame fronts toward predetermined areas within the combustion chamber to maximize fuel burning, to avoid engine knocking, and to prevent direct impingement of flame on metal portions continuous the chamber, which are susceptible to burning or heat or damage. And that's the diagram. The inventors are Dawson Ralph E. from Tennessee, USA. Filed in 2006. There's all the things that it references. Okay. So the next thing we do a Google is a reactor vessel, NASA, and ARMS comes up. So it's the NASA Aerobatic Rotational Membrane System, which is called ARMS. And I'm going to show you the data. First, I'm going to show you some nice pictures so you can see what this stuff means. Another thing comes up is NASA's beneficial bacteria up in ARMS. And then we have a clear, then I googled the word clear plexiglass ARMS reactor vessel and found this image below. I wanted to know what it was, and it's some sort of scientific thing that they use. So bioprocess engineer Tony Reactor monitors the aerobic rotational membrane system, ARMS, in the Resource Recovery Lab at the Kennedy Space Center. His hand rests at the top of the reactor vessel. Inside, a series of 115 rotating membranes stretches to the bottom. Credit is from NASA and KSC. This is a PBRF reactor vessel with all internals removed. Okay. And it was found at the NASA Plum Brook Reactor Facility, decommissioning. I guess they tore it apart or took it. They took it apart. It had asbestos and stuff in it and everything. It was built in the 1960s. So the NASA Plum Brook Reactor Facility in the late 1960s. That's what it looked like. And this is a picture of it. This is the GRC Plum Brook Station Spacecraft Propulsion Facility, B2. So I found out they make jet propellants, rockets and stuff. So the Spacecraft Propulsion Facility at Plum Brook Station, PBS, is the world's only facility capable of testing full-scale upper stage launch vehicles and rocket engines. Okay? And it has the largest environment for a vacuum chamber. There's a zero gravity research facility. Is a vertical vacuum chamber used for microgravity experiments. It was so the facility uses vertical drop tests in a vacuum chamber to investigate the behavior of component systems, liquids, gases, and combustions in such circumstances. Okay, so that's that. Let's go over the pictures real quick. I'm getting low on battery power. So this is the photos of ISS ARMS crew STS-131 astronauts in space from NASA. And you can look it up on the internet under www.universetoday.com. So this is ARMS in space. That's what it looks like. There's a picture of the astronauts sharing a lunch on the ISS. Here's the ISS as seen from departing Space Shuttle Endeavour. Here's a beautiful view of the shuttle and ISS during the STS STS-131 mission. Let's say hi to the astronaut. This is Clay Anderson during an EVA. He's working on the outside of the space station. So he's working outside of it during the STS-131's first EVA. Takes him 6 hours and 27 minutes to walk around and do what he's got to do with Rick Mastracchio. And here they are flying up into this little thing here. So discovery during the rendezvous and docking with the ISS, April 7th, 2010. Now this was really cool. I had to get this. This is Clay Anderson with a ball of water. You see what the water did in the... Isn't that cool? I'd have way too much fun. Okay, the microgravity environment of space provides a great place to play. I guess so. You imagine kids would have a blast with that. So much for blowing bubbles, eh? And that, look how tiny that is. And they're all in there. That's the crew. So, counterclockwise from the top left are astronauts Alex Poindexter, Commander James P. Dutton Jr., Pilot Dorothy Metcalf Lindberger, Rick Mastracchio, Japan Aerospace Exploration Aging JAXA astronaut Nako Yamazaki, NASA astronauts Clayton Anderson and Stephanie Wilson. And there's all their names there. Okay. And so we'll go with my thoughts here. Actually, I'm going to do the tags here first so you know. The tags for line 18A3. Okay, Resource Recovery Lab at Kennedy Space Center, NASA at KSC. Plexiglass Arms Reactor Vessel, Bacteria. The PBRF Reactor Vessel. The Spacecraft Propulsion Facility, SPF. PBS Plumbrook Station, NASA Plumbrook Reactor Facility Decommissioning. Aerobic Rotational Membrane System for Arms, prevents direct impingement, high velocity, fluid flow distribution system, fluidized bed reactor, catalytic reactor plenum chamber, gas liquid solids, ebulated bed reactor, baffle plates, plenium, distribution grid, sparger, as cylinder, I think it's supposed to be gas cylinder, piston, operating rod assembly, H&K 416 short stroke gas piston, internal combustion engine, US patent 7066137, fluid flow distribution system for fluidized bed reactor, US patent 4702891, flame ejector device, spark plug aperture, maximized fuel burning invention, the zero gravity research facility, microgravity environment, ISS cupola, STS-131, and then all the astronauts' names that I told you just a few minutes ago. So February 2nd, 2012, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My thoughts for line 18A3. I don't know if you've noticed, but many of the places in regards to NASA or testing facilities all started doing tests around 1966 or up to 1977. That's what I'm finding in the Wow signal. The Wow Seti signal was received August 15, 1977. Within a 10-year time frame is what we have in this section. Some of the facilities have closed down, but the test results are still being debated or worked over in the hopes of making something from them in 2012. In this section, 2 patents came up for new devices. The anti-detonation device and method for internal combustion engines, and the fluid flow distribution system for fluidized bed reactor. And this is a basic diagram of a fluidized bed reactor. So you can see this is the gas, solid, gas bubbles, solid particles, gas, and distributor. Okay? So, quote, a fluidized bed reactor is a type of reactor device that can be used to carry out a variety of multi-phase... There, I thought I was recording and it went to standby. Okay, so now that we have an idea of what we can use to convert solids to liquids or gases, compression with safety valves, we can use this data to create the fuel required for a UFO engine. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It went into standby by itself. I don't know what happened.